So, if you're watching this video, then you're probably curious about Acacia Kaguya and whether or not she's, worth pulling. But before I start this video, I'd like to just, just a few quick FAQs before we actually start, just in case people had these, questions in the first place. And to do that, of course, we will head to the trusty character EXP farming stage just to quickly show you the kit. So first things first, what they didn't show you in the gameplay trailer, the gameplay video of Acacia Kaguya, is that her support skill actually lasts longer, much longer than they've shown because the video was cut, right? It lasts for a really nice, quite a while actually. But yeah, now let's take a look at the first thing to note, the elephant in the room, her ultimate. As you saw in the video, her ultimate gathers enemies together into the center of where you place the Q. But as you will see here in a moment, they're not actually being pulled in, right? Which I will explain in a moment, but I just wanted to show you here in first. And then next up, her E. Her E was shown to have nice range, right, which is pretty cool. Now, the only thing that they didn't show you is that there is, because it's far away, they didn't actually really show the part where if the enemies are too close, obviously they're not going to be hit at all. But yeah, and then lastly, obviously, gameplay, you just aim and shoot with the pistol and then you reload. So, I pointed that out just to show you how she is out of the box, like the moment you pull her, in case there are people wondering why she's not following the same, why her ultimate is not following what the video shows us, where the enemies are being sucked in, right? And the biggest reason here is that most likely, since the game just literally came out like less than 24 hours, for the most likely people have not reached chapter 4 stage 3 assault, because the moment you finish this stage you unlock a system in the operative section called Neuronics, and this is where all the good stuff that you have for each character's kit comes from. And we'll just go straight into it right now. As you can see here, the bottom left thing here, Lunar Eclipse Cluster, Lunar Eclipse Storm, which is her ultimate, can now suck targets towards the center of the storm, and basically, yeah, is essentially locked out by this mechanic. Now, just a few things to note. These are called Theotropic Clusters, and there are 6 of them in total. Currently at level 20, you start out with 1 available cluster that you can choose from, so choose wisely. However, every 10 levels after that, you'll have the ability to unlock another Theotropic cluster, and if you do the math, it starts at level 20, max level is 80. Every 10 levels you're able to unlock another Theotropic cluster, so in total at level 80 you'll have by then you'll have all 6 of them unlocked. The only, I guess, the fun part here is to choose which ones you unlock first. Now, all of them are pretty nice. What they didn't show here is that the support skill, you can actually have it so that it also sucks nearby targets, and at the same time the support skill will follow the hit target, which is pretty nice. Like if the target is moving, it'll follow it, and at the same time it'll have a tornado ability to pull the enemies in towards the hit target, which is nice. And also another thing here, which I'll show in just a few moments, this upgrade here allows you to have it charged to 3 stacks, the E skill, which they also didn't show in the video. And in order for me to show you that, I have to go to the stage selection here for the personal files with the trial version of Acacia Kaguya. But just a disclaimer, she is maximum dupe here with her weapon, but it's okay, we're only showing the E anyway. The dupes don't actually affect the E, which I'll show you in just a second with the 3 charges.
I have a match to watch. Be careful.
All right.
Don't get yourself hurt.
Pretty simple.
Save those kids. There's only you.
The first cluster allows you to do this with your E. Now, obviously, there's still gonna be a lot of range where the enemies are. If they're within, if they're inside where the E was, then they're obviously not going to get hit. Alright, so now we've got a lot of things out of the way. So just a quick summary. Out of the box, obviously, she is missing quite a lot of parts here. And a lot of her kit, of what makes her good, is due to her Neuronics. So obviously, from the start, she is still really good, right? Mainly because of her support skill. Decreases all type resistance by 14.4%, also dealing damage, and then you can upgrade it for where they can suck nearby targets towards it and following the target. Same here, for example, here the E can be charged up to 3 times, and then after Winter Moon reaches 3 stacks, it can inflict frozen effect on the enemy, which is nice. And then obviously her ultimate can now suck targets toward the center and increasing the duration of the ultimate to 10 seconds. And then an extra alignment here, I think this is after you max out. Again, a support skill. So overall, she's a support character. And then one final thing before I end off this video. Alright, so just the one thing that I wanted to show you that was really interesting is, as you can see, there's a lot of enemies right over there, but let me wait until they're all up there. Let me use my Q. One thing that they didn't show is that her ultimate has actually nice vertical range, as you can see up there. The enemies right up there are still being hit by it, which is, you know, very interesting to know. Well, there you have it. That's pretty much, you know, I guess a deep dive into Acacia Kaguya's kit. And then for those that really want to know how to play her, then there is one way that I could, you know, tell you, is that since she is mainly focused on support, and as well as, you know, all her passives are for the most part related to literally just her, you know, for the most part, just her support skill, then the way to play her is that you just keep her on the sidelines, just using her support skill whenever it's available. And then lastly, on her ultimate, you choose switch out when you cast the ultimate in case you want to use it. So when you use the ultimate, she'll use it, but then she doesn't switch with the character that you're currently have deployed out. But yeah, overall, hopefully this helps you in regards to like her kit, understanding her kit, you know, things you may not have known about her kit, and hopefully with this understanding, this will give you a better idea on how to use Acacia, you know, when to use her skill, or when to use a support skill, her ultimate skill, stuff like that. In terms of a Neuronic guide on what to upgrade first, I would probably argue, if you're going to main her, as in like using her as a deployed character, then I guess you can probably start off with the upgrade here for the first cluster. And then if you're using her as a support, probably using either this one for PvE and then this one for against bosses. You have to choose one, right? But you can end up choosing both once you hit level 30. I would argue that you should use this one a little later, mainly because ultimate charge does take quite some time. So having a support skill that, you know, arrives more frequently might be more efficient, might be more optimal when it comes to gathering enemies. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully I've covered at least a good basis, a good baseline for Acacia Kaguya, and helps you decide whether or not you should pull for her. I guess a quick note in regards to her weapon: it is definitely a strong weapon to have, especially with the increased full squad damage by 3% every time a support skill hits an enemy, so a total of 15% for the squad damage bonus for the whole squad at max stacks. You know, very nice for support. But if you're free to play or not planning on spending a lot, then I would argue that you don't really need the weapon in the first place. I would say that there are good alternatives. But yeah, if you've got any more questions in regards to Acacia Kaguya or anything in general in regards to Snowbreak or just in general, do let me know that in the comments below. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.